depressingly disappointing posers.
I don't know who booked this bunch, but they should be fired for the way that they do their job.
I give them 1 star because I couldn't give them 0.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Adam Johnson, and this is Cover Band Confidential. This week, I wanted to talk about something that bands, musicians, and creatives in general are going to run into at some point or another, and that is negative comments about your work. Maybe your band got featured on a TV show, or one of your songs or videos goes viral online, and all of a sudden, you have a much larger group of people who are aware of your stuff. Now, for most people, that sounds like a good thing. As a musician, we want to develop a fan base and reach as many people as possible. The issue is, with that additional exposure, you may possibly deal with people who feel the need to be negative or critical of what you're doing. This is especially the case with viral moments online. The allure of anonymity can make it really easy for people to say whatever they want and not really worry about how the other person may accept it. Now, our channel has been fairly well received and we don't really deal with a lot of negative comments, but I also understand that as the channel continues to grow, we'll probably get our fair share. Now, story time. A few weeks ago, my band played a municipal event, and it was probably the second or third show we've done since things started opening back up. In prepping for these dates, we have been working on some show enhancements along with bringing in new personnel. And with those changes, there comes an uncertainty with getting used to these new things. Now, as a creature of habit and a generally anxious person, onboarding new systems can be fairly stressful, and this date was looming large in the weeks running up to it. Now, the day of the show, we set up and things go pretty well. There were a few hiccups, but I got the impression from the people that I talked to and the person who hired us that they were very pleased with how the performance went. After I got home, though, I got an email saying that we had received a new review on our Gig Salad page. Now, this raised a couple of red flags. First of all, we didn't book the event through Gig Salad, and we don't have a paid membership for them, and we honestly haven't used them for years. Now, that is a completely different story. Maybe we'll do a video about those kinds of sites in the near future. Now, upon clicking that link, I found a 1-star scathing review of how that person thought our show actually went. Now, it's definitely hard to read, but the general gist is they didn't like the fact that we were using backing tracks on some of our songs. He went further to insinuate that we weren't actually playing our instruments at all and that we were just pretending. By the way, that would be amazing, right? Can you imagine how much easier it would be if we didn't spend all that time practicing and we could literally just play along to a CD? I feel like I've wasted years of my life up to this point. Anyway, after having a super stressful day, that was literally the last thing I needed to see. And honestly, I let it get to me pretty hard. Now, if you ever find yourself in this situation, there are 3 things that you need to do or not do. The first one is do not respond in the moment. There is rarely anything to gain from responding to reviews or comments like this. In most cases, your emotional headspace will make your reaction worse, and it will more than likely do more harm than good. The second thing you need to do is to externalize your feelings about those comments. After I saw the review, I screenshot it and sent it to a couple of my musician friends that I trust, who also understand how these things go. It gave me the space to vent my frustration on the day and to process how I was feeling. It also gave me the benefit of an outside perspective from people who have been through this before and could get me out of whatever internal dialogue I was having. In reality, more things went right than wrong at the show, and that one person's opinion did not reflect the hundreds of other people who were at that gig that really had a good time. And third, you need to either let it go or let it work for you. Listen, your band isn't for everyone, your music isn't for everyone. There are going to be people who don't enjoy the stuff that you make, and that's okay. Humans tend to focus more on bad things than good things. In psychology, they refer to that as negativity bias. So as a musician, you can have hundreds of people reaching out to you talking about how much they love your stuff, and one person says one bad thing, and that's the only thing that matters. Literally less than an hour after I got that review, somebody DM'd us talking about how much they enjoyed the show and that they had a really fun night. Try to make sure you're paying attention to those as well. Now, the other part, making it work for you, is something that may not be for everybody. In some cases, you may want to take those negative comments or posts and repost them as content for your social media. Now, the purpose of posting those is to show your audience that it doesn't necessarily bother you and that you've got a sense of humor about yourself and that you don't take these things too seriously. In most cases, sharing these kinds of comments with your audience will endear them to you even more. Just as an example, this past week, my new pop punk band posted a video on TikTok, and like clockwork, somebody wrote a nasty comment. Instead of deleting or replying to that comment, I opted to create a new video, and then I sang the words of that nasty comment over the tune of I Miss You by Blink-182. At the time of this recording, that video has just about as many views as the video with the nasty comment on it. Listen, the kind of people who post negative comments are usually unhappy, jealous, or get some sort of satisfaction out of getting a rise out of people. Meeting those comments with more negativity is a fruitless endeavor that won't make you feel any better. Your best strategy is to laugh it off or let it go. If you want a more in-depth look at this kind of thing, check out episode 175 of the Cover Band Confidential podcast. We have Mike Schulte from the Pork Tornadoes as our guest, and we talk about how his band's cover of Tennessee Whiskey netted them 6 million views on YouTube and a whole bunch of hate. Guys, thanks again for tuning in. If you're enjoying our content, don't forget to like and subscribe. We post new videos here every single Friday. Also, it's officially fall, and we now have hoodies in the merch store. Go check those out and grab one before it gets too cool. Have an awesome week, and we will see you next time.